Let's take a little time to explore further the navigation pane in Access 2013. This left-hand side is our navigation pane, and we've seen that we can condense it and then expand it back out as and when required. We've also seen that we can change how it displays the items here by using a little drop down here and saying, actually, we don't want to see them grouped by the object type. I'd like to see them grouped by tables and related views. Then it groups them by their tables and then anything that's related to that table. So most things are related here to TBL employees. Now within there, we do have a custom option. If we choose that, we see that we have custom group 2. If I choose show all, I have all the custom groups, which is custom group 1, custom group 2, and then any unassigned objects. Now all I need to do here simply is rename these provided custom groups by right-click, rename, and we could call this projects. And then I could move any item that I feel belongs to a project. So TBL employees, I can drag up, drop into projects, and pet type, and children. Then in custom group 2, I'm going to right click and rename again and call that training. And into training, move shares. So I'm just grabbing it, dragging it up the navigation pane until it highlights the section I want it to drop into. And I can do that with any of these objects. I can move hello into training. So that's my macro is in training. Any that I don't assign into a custom group simply stay in the unassigned objects group, which obviously, like any of the other groupings, I can condense and compress and hide away and expand as and when required. Now you'll see that Access will remember which of these custom groups I've put items in. If I now go back to, say, object type, it shows me back as objects. So the tables are in the tables, queries in the queries. If I then come back round to custom, it shows me the ones that I placed in the projects group and the training group. Now it only gave me 2 custom groups, and it may be that I would need 3 or 4, maybe even more than that. But I can manage these groups by going to File, Options. Make sure I choose the current database, because the changes I make will only be to the current database, not to every single Access database I create. Come down the screen until we see the navigation section and then navigation options. And in here, I see my categories, tables and related views, object types, and it shows me the object types. Now I can't remove any of these, but I can turn some off. So I could turn the modules off or the macros off if I didn't want people using this database to see the macros and the modules. And then the custom type that I've renamed projects and training and then unassigned objects. Now I can add further groups in. I don't have to restrict myself to the 2 that have been given. Well, effectively the 3, because there's the unassigned one. I could add another group from here and even give it its name from here, which is personal. And then I can actually change the sort order. So personal could be higher than training, maybe even higher than projects, and then move projects down to below training. So in this navigation options section, I can add as many groups as I want. Then when I say OK and come back, I find I now have the personal group available. You can see that over there. So that's OK on the options. And I could perhaps drop a couple of the unassigned objects into the personal section. So that's File, Options, Current Database, Navigation Options. Now, not only can I add more categories to the custom category, I can actually add my own category by saying Add Item. And here I would have my own custom category that I can give a name to. Let's call this Pieces. Within the Pieces group, I can then add further groups. So Add Group, Main, Add Group, Sub. Then when I say OK and OK, I find that in my list here, I have Pieces as an option to navigate by. So choose Pieces. Now at the moment, everything is an unassigned object as far as the pieces are concerned, but I could perhaps move the bulk of the tables into Main, the other 3 tables into Sub, and my other 3 objects into Sub. So I really am in control of this left-hand navigation pane. In previous versions, you were restricted to simply having them sorted by the default, which is their object type. But now you can add in your own grouping and categorization system that will appear in the drop list here. So we can add our own categories, and here we've added pieces as our own category, and within that category you can add groups, and you simply then drag any objects into those groups that you wish to see them in, and they will remain in those groups until you move them. Therefore, it becomes quite easy for you to then organize and view the relevant objects that you're trying at the moment to deal with. Or you may want to use this to categorize objects. At the moment, our database does not have too many objects. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9 objects. There would be nothing untoward with a database having 90 or 900 objects, in which case the ability here to manage and group and categorize would make life a lot easier for navigating around the database to the objects you're trying to use. So that's the navigation pane.